evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller. In tonight's news, ADC's Chicken Gun celebrates its 50th birthday. It was senior night at last week's Tullahoma Wildcats football game, and Tennesseans can get a free flu shot next week. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
Welcome back. It was senior night at last Friday night's Tullahoma Wildcats football game. Let's watch as each senior class football players and manager is recognized.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wilkins Stadium. It's senior night here in Tullahoma. Tonight we get to honor our senior class and all the hard work that they put into making this year a success, both on the football field, the cheerleaders, the band, and the ROTC. Let's get started. Brock Stroop. Brock is the son of Beth and Craig Stroop. Grant Allen, son of Angel and George Allen. Zane Hope, son of Amy and John Hope. Jake Martin, grandson of Sue and Keith Chandler. Abram Bergert, son of Nicole and Trevis Bergert. Braden Powers, son of April and Jason Powers. Sam Northcott, son of Becky and Craig Northcott. Jonathan Ralston, son of Lori and Mark Ralston. Manager Carly Searcy, daughter of Lori and Corey Searcy. Statistician Fisher Flowers, son of Renee and Brian Flowers.
And now we go to video of each senior class cheerleader being honored.
Hannah Chesser, daughter of Rachel Chesser and Ross Chesser. Addison Mahaffey, daughter of Lindsay and Kevin Loney, and Adam and Whitney Mahaffey. Hannah Waller, daughter of Beth and Brandon Waller. Ashley Weaver, daughter of Alana and Adam Weaver. Jenna Wooten, daughter of Janet and Jeff Wooten.
We'll be right back after these messages.
MacArthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at MacArthur Manor, we'll treat you like family.
Caring.
Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest.
Engaging.
With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at MacArthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
Welcome back. The Tennessee Department of Health is encouraging all Tennesseans over the age of 6 months to receive this year's flu vaccine. Vaccinations for flu will be free this coming Wednesday, November the 9th, at all local health departments in the state. Tennessee Department of Health Commissioner Morgan McDonald said, quote, "Getting a flu shot is the most important thing we can all do to help prevent the flu and keep ourselves, loved ones, and everyone around us healthy. We know flu vaccines are safe, effective, and protect against the most common types of flu circulating. So I urge every eligible person to receive a flu shot, everyone who is eligible to receive a flu shot to do so." end quote. No vaccinations are needed to get a free flu vaccine during the Tennessee Fight Flu 22 program. Simply find the site closest to you and the hours of operation at the tn.gov/health/fight-flu and select the Find a Flu Shot Near You button. The flu vaccine will continue to be free at Tennessee's county health departments after the Fight Flu 22 kickoff event on November the 9th. The flu virus is highly contagious, and pregnant women, infants, the elderly, and people with certain medical conditions are all at the highest risk of severe complications from the flu. The CDC estimates up to 7.5 million illnesses, 400,000 hospitalizations, and 22,000 deaths could be prevented each year if more people chose to get the flu vaccine. To prevent the spread of flu virus to others, follow precautions such as proper hygiene and hand washing. Cover your coughs or sneezes with a tissue or your elbow, and stay at home if you are sick. Fight Flu 22 also serves as a statewide preparedness and response exercise where Tennessee's Department of Health local public health teams practice their emergency plans to vaccinate communities during a pandemic. This is the 5th consecutive year for the Fight Flu TN event as the Tennessee Department of Health works to protect as many Tennesseans as possible against influenza. The mission of the Tennessee Department of Health is to protect, promote, and improve the health and prosperity of people in Tennessee. Learn more about Tennessee Department of Health services and programs at tn.gov/health. Stay with us. More news is coming up in just a moment.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Welcome back. This past weekend, the world-renowned and award-winning Paul Brock's Irish band made a stop in Flat Creek on their current tour of the United States. News leader Philip Scoggins stopped by to get some video, and local musician Jim Wood also spoke to Paul after the show.
We just heard a brilliant concert by the Paul Brock Band here at Flat Creek Community Church. And fortunate to have you guys here with us. Thanks for being with us, Paul.
Thanks, Jim.
And
We're glad to be back.
your new band sounds awesome. These
Thank
guys are really good. Okay, so a couple questions here, Paul. What can you say about the balance? One of the things I find really intriguing about Irish traditional music is the balance between tradition and innovation. I think that's one of the things that makes the music so alive. Irish people seem to get it right about with the accompaniment and new chords and new arrangements and staying rooted in the tradition.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first thing I'd say is that music is a way of life in Ireland. Everybody is involved in one way or another. If you visit Ireland, you'll be astonished by the amount of music that you're going to hear, and especially the fact that so many young people are playing our music. And not just keeping it alive, but absolutely thriving and playing it at an extraordinary level of virtuosity. So you could come to Ireland, travel around. We have lots of festivals. We have lots of venues where music is performed. And the young people are experimenting. They're trying new things. We have in a number of our universities, we now have programs in traditional Irish music. For example, at the University of Limerick, there's an Academy of Irish Music and Dance and Song, and they're doing full programs right up to doctorate in Irish traditional music. And the tradition itself is so strong. I mean, this is music that has been handed down orally from generation to generation over many hundreds of years. And people can experiment, they can try collaborating our music with other music genres. All of that kind of stuff is happening. But at the basis of it all is the strength of our tradition.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So how do you feel, what makes you think that Ireland, a small little island, less people than a lot of American cities, Irish music is popular everywhere. You think that's, what do you think accounts for its universal appeal?
I think it's just the strength and the beauty of our tradition. Our musical heritage is very, very, very strong. And it's internationally recognised that Ireland has one of the strongest and most beautiful folk heritages in the world. And I mean, you see it from, for example, our dance tradition, where a number of shows have emerged in the past 20, 30 years that have been travelling the world non-stop. Right. Like, for example, Riverdance, that is in its 30th year.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Touring the world. And that's just an indication of the strength of the tradition. So
John Hartford said to me one time that he feels as though movements like the Riverdance, the popular expressions of Irish music, the ones that swell up out of a broad base of really strong material, they don't peak like that. They swell up and they really last for generations, So I guess we'll sign off here. Thanks again, Paul, for being here in Flat Creek with us. And
yes, we're so happy to be here, and we compliment you and Inga on the work that you do in keeping this kind of music going and promoting it at every opportunity. So
well, thank you for being a part of that. Thank you for being a part of that.
Thanks very much, Jim.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after these messages.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
Welcome back. In the spirit of recently past Halloween festivities and just plain weird things in the area, we bring you this story of the infamous AEDC chicken gun as we celebrate its 50th anniversary. The S-3 Bird Impact Range at Arnold Air Force Base widely referred to as the chicken gun, remains a point of interest during base tours, has been the subject of numerous articles, and is often a topic of discussion when Arnold Center is brought up in conversation. The first FOWL was launched from the chicken gun 50 years ago. Over the decades from this initial shot to its final blast, the facility was used to test windshield material and full-scale canopies for various military and commercial aircraft, and also supported NASA in its effort to return to manned spaceflight. Chicken carcasses were fired at the range to simulate in-flight bird strikes. These tests were done to research the damage caused by such strikes and to prevent harm to crew members of the aircraft. Bird strikes have been an ever-present possibility since the first plane took to the skies. Over time, thousands of collisions between birds and aircraft have occurred, resulting in millions of dollars in damage, the complete loss of some aircraft, and in some instances, the loss of human life. The hazards became much more prevalent when planes began flying lower and at higher speeds. The catalyst for the development of bird impact test facilities was the loss of a F-111 Aardvark aircraft during the Vietnam War. These planes were equipped with terrain-following radar that allowed pilots to fly at high speeds only a few hundred feet off the ground. This mix of high speed and low altitudes resulted in many mid-air encounters between the aircraft and Southeastern Asian birds. In an effort to address the issue, Air Force officials tasked the Aeronautical Systems Division of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Ohio, with examining how to diminish the dangers associated with direct bird impacts. They in turn leaned on the ballistics range expertise of personnel at Arnold and asked if Arnold team members could develop a bird strike test. Working together, they came up with the idea of the chicken gun. The bird impact range facility was built by Arnold engineers using scrap hardware, including an 8-inch naval gun. The barrel of the single-stage air gun they considered was 60 feet long and contained a 10 cubic foot chamber that could be filled with pressurized air. Test articles were placed in an enclosed outdoor shed downrange of the chicken gun. Carcasses could be fired at speeds exceeding 700 miles per hour. The first shot from the chicken gun was fired in the fall of 1972 at an F-111 crew escape module. Engineers initially explored ways to take chickens off the menu, but experiments with water bags and other materials simulating birds were unreliable in delivering accurate data. Even the American Society for Testing and Materials Standards permitted the use of imitation avian for bird impact testing. However, Randall Watt, then project manager for the Arnold Bird Impact Test Facility, said in 1996 that there's no substitute for the real thing, adding the Air Force typically required actual carcasses be used during testing. Chickens were selected as the bird carcass of choice for the facility due to the ease with which they could be accessed. Arnold Air Force Base purchased chicken gun ammo, that's 4-pound carcasses, from a local chicken farmer. Test engineers were not only interested in the integrity of the test articles, but also how well they deflected the hurtling carcasses. The force of a bird strike could cause the canopy to bend excessively rather than shatter, still posing a hazard to the pilot, whose head might be only an inch or two away from the canopy. The last test involving the chicken gun to date occurred in the early 2000s. The chicken gun was revamped to conduct testing for the NASA Space Shuttle Return to Flight program, initiated after the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster in February 2003. The gun was used to launch hundreds of block-shaped projectiles made of insulated foam material used on the external tank of the space shuttle. These shots simulated pieces of the external tank foam breaking away from the tank during flight. has happened to Columbia and striking various parts of the shuttle, such as the solid rocket boosters. Blocks were launched at various angles and velocities to help determine the effects of foam impacts, provide information on the ability of shuttle hardware to withstand the impacts, and populate a database for future reference. So there you are. In case you wondered, that might be just a myth. The chicken gun is very real and has helped save many pilots' lives over the past 50 years. Happy birthday, chicken gun. Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
There's a lot of talk about the risks associated with the COVID-19 vaccine, but the reality is, it's safer than going for a run. Give it a shot. Find a free appointment today at covid19.tn.gov.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. A high record high was in 2015 at 84 degrees. The record low in 1954 at 14 degrees. Average high on this day is 65 and the average low is 41. Mostly clear weather in the forecast for tonight with a low of 53. Sunny weather expected on Friday with a high of 75 and a low of 61, and a 70% chance of showers in the forecast for Saturday with a high of 72 and a low of 58. And that's our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for Newsleader on 6. You have a good day.